Alright guys, welcome back. You are still tuned in to Funtastic 93 FM. Alright, so guys, we're in the final half of the show. I know it's always bittersweet, but we're still in a very interesting conversation right now. We're learning about fitness tips, health tips, really hoping that you guys can try incorporating some of these things. And we're not saying that, you know, you make all these notes and by tomorrow you're going to try every single one of them. As we've heard so far, make small changes. It's more sustainable that way. Start somewhere. You can't start in all directions one time. Start one direction and then make your way to the rest of it, all right? So we're going to move now into the physical aspect of fitness and health, because we know nutrition is important. I don't think one goes without the other, based on my understanding. They both should exist hand in hand, how you eat and how physically active you are, right? So I want to know, what are 3 common misconceptions that you wish people would stop doing? So whether you see it in person with your clients or on social media or wherever it is that you see it, what are some of the things that you're like, boy, why?
Well, I get this all the time. Someone would point out a particular body part and say, how do I lose fat from here?
Belly.
Whether it's my arms, belly, or arms, or whatever, you know. Do I need to do more curls? Do I need to do more this? Do I need to do more that in that section, you know? And that is somewhat of a misconception, because the amount of reps or the amount of work that you put in on a particular body part does not reduce the fat in that particular body part. You know, how your body uses fat and loses fat is dependent on whatever metabolic process is happening, as well as genetics. Some people store fat in certain areas and some people lose fat quicker in certain areas. You can't control that. All you can do is stick to your diet, your exercise, and stick within a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight, and the fat will go from wherever it chooses, where your body, you know, loses fat the most, you know.
So you can't target specific areas and decide to listen, belly alone won't go, so every day you do 100 sit up because of the belly.
I think that's why some ladies keep the belly, you know, because they don't want to lose any other area when getting rid of the belly.
Yes, I've heard that. We don't want to lose the bottom, and we don't want to lose nothing there. We don't want to lose the boobs.
Give call this.
Well, call it out. I thought the show, they've taught the thing. We talking the things.
I thought that be.
So we don't want to lose the boobs, we don't want to lose the butt, but probably all your life you work feet and you finally have it, and now you're going to lose the weight, and I can lose it from there. I know me you talk to, right? But you're saying, so we really can't target a specific area.
Where you want to
exactly.
All right, so the fact we just decide, listen, hey, I'm going to go from here today.
In the simplest sense, sure.
I like that.
The thing with that as well. Well, I would like people to think about it this way. So if you want, let me say you want to grow your bottom and legs, right? You do exercises for your glutes and legs to make them bigger, right? But then people would come to me and they say, we're not doing anything for this to help me lose this, right? If I'm going to give you exercises to make your butt bigger, that target your butt, why do you think if I give you abs to target the abs, it will make your stomach smaller? It really makes sense that way. You know what I mean? So you can train your abs all you want, right? But then you're just training the muscle. The fat will remain if you're not taking into account the intensity of the exercise, caloric deficit, food, etc. So you just really need to focus on the intake and also how hard the training as well.
So the intensity of your training plays a part as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can. All right. Well, before we get into that, because I do have a question related to that, but any other misconceptions? So you say targeting specific areas, saying you just want to focus there. It's not a thing for fat loss, you know. The fat will decide.
So what about that beautiful contraption the ladies usually wear when they work out? I think they call it a trainer.
You mean the trainer of the waist?
Because I know you guys are trainers, but they say they wear a trainer.
No, man, this one is bought, you know. And you can't wear it all day every day.
So these are very good devices.
I love the silence. I love it. No, it's not it.
They say no together and then they say I. No, because you guys are the pro. I don't know.
Yeah.
And women live in them, so that's why I actually wanted somebody to mention that.
Yeah, I don't believe in waist trainers. I don't believe in it. It does more harm than good, in my opinion. Anything that requires external force to
squeeze in the organs.
That
doesn't sound safe. I don't think it sounds safe.
Contour the body in that way. It can be a little tricky, as well as your core muscles. They're necessary for protection of the body, the organs, keeping the spine protected, keeping the body upright. And when you have that tightly around your body, the muscles of the core don't get to do what they want to do. So the body is very efficient.
Yeah, come on, wonder even how them bend. Like, do they bend in it? I don't know.
Yeah, the body is very efficient. So if it doesn't need to do a thing, it just won't.
All right.
So that can be harmful over time.
Okay. All right.
So I don't believe in it. And I don't believe in sweatbands either.
No sweatband.
No.
So all of the sweat when they see them having the band, and what
that is another misconception.
Somebody else wanted that.
That is another misconception.
So I wanted an account or something.
No. So the thing about that is, majority of this, the fat that you lose, it is exhaled out.
Yeah.
You breathe it out by carbon dioxide. No. So more blood breathing doesn't mean you're losing more fat.
I was about to let it out.
No.
I was like, yo, you got to go.
Walk around it.
Hey, Kim, I was gonna plan over the weekend some exhale exercise, because trust me. Okay. So all that, because I know a person said that,
if you're not sweat, you can't clothes not drenched.
So that water from the sweat under the weight that.
No, the thing is, sweat isn't necessarily indicative of a good workout per se. Sweat is just your body's way of cooling yourself.
Hey, you mash up all of them head out there, People, hush. We're just getting the good information so that you can get a better workout, better nutrition, better diet, better everything, right?
I love that they mention it, because persons believe if you don't sweat,
listen me,
you never do nothing in the gym.
Right now we can't find a garbage bag. The people them are wear the garbage bags.
Because me personally, I don't like to sweat. So if I go and do some squats under the AC, I go and do it, because
and I used to be the person who avoid the AC coming to my warm feet of sweat. I don't want no cool with
that. I prefer a warmer environment though, but each his own.
But you're saying that the sweat doesn't equate
to a good workout.
Losing
so
weight.
if your clothes soaked, it don't mean to your man you go hard today. Yeah.
Boom.
It just means say your body hot and need to cool down.
Okay, I like that. Alright, so I wanted to know now, so if it is that someone wants to work out from home, because we know not everybody can probably get a trainer, not many persons want to be led by a trainer, because some people just don't really want to be out there hating y'all, right? You have any tips for anybody working out at home when they're building their own fitness regimen? Like, what advice you can give to guide them?
Well, if you choose to do it by yourself, you have to do a lot of research. Right? I mean, the information is out there. It's not hard to find. As much as I myself have gotten a degree, a lot of what I know is really self-taught from just researching and doing my own reading. Right? So it's out there. Anybody can really do it. So once you do the research and you understand, okay, these exercises do this for this muscle, or this type of routine is catered to this, right? And you start implementing those bodyweight aspects at home, right? And you can also start matriculating to getting some equipment for yourself as you become fit, as you become more, beginner to intermediate. You get more practice doing exercises, and then from then, as well as the food as well. Once you keep those things intact, you can do everything you need to do at home.
So it's possible to gain the fitness goal that you have probably in your mind at home.
Yes, but then it depends. You might have some limitations.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
especially if you're trying to put on muscle, gain weight, because you see, if you want to build muscle, you need to be working in muscle to a point of near to or complete failure in some instances, right? That's how it elicits the simplest rate to grow. Right? It's very difficult to do that when you have one consistent kind of resistance all the time, which is your body weight. So you might need to start investing and get to some dumbbells for yourself, maybe some bands, right? So things like that. So you just find a way to still get that kind of stimulus even at home, but then you might find a bit of difficulty if you want to gain muscle. Losing weight, that's a lot easier.
Because I see it in the movies, the guys, they just do some push-ups, right? They do some pull-ups, and they fit, you know. But you have to play a little music in the back. But you say,
but that's why it's a movie, you know.
So adding the weight would help too.
Definitely.
That's why I take so long for reach. You see, I'm not trying to Kim, but I choose not have the gym equipment. Now I sign up for the gym.
I ain't never that exhale enough. That's why.
But don't get me wrong, you know.
Yeah.
It also it depends on what your goal is.
Yeah.
You know. So doing little things at home is good as well as your diet.
Yeah.
You know, because you can lose fat at home. But then you develop this thing that people call like skinny fat. You know, yeah, man. You lose the weight.
That never sounds stable.
Well, what is a skinny fat?
You're still pudgy.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, like as we would have said, as Jamaica would have said, you're not firm.
Yes.
Because you lose the weight, but you haven't had enough stimulus to your muscles to maintain
tone up,
muscular.
to grow.
So
Big up the skinny fat people, and we're getting progress this year.
And there's nothing wrong with that either.
No, that's what I'm saying. If they're cool with it, that's what I'm saying.
You're healthy, by all means.
Mikael for president, you know, that's always defending. Nothing wrong with that. Just put it out there.
As long as you're healthy.
You know, to each his own. You get to your target, go on there.
As long as you're healthy. That's my motto, you know.
Okay, I like that. All right, so what about for somebody in the gym? Because you do have some persons who go in the gym, you know, but I'm not going to ask a trainer for guidance because either them do their own research or them use I saw somebody post something about stop using TikTok videos to guide your exercise in the gym, you know, because it's not the same or whatever.
Is that instructor do the TikTok video? But anyway,
no, so yeah, so the person I had, it was a fitness instructor as well, and she was just fed up of people going to gyms, putting up the TikTok video and literally following the TikTok. That is their trainer,
they love
right? So what advice you have for somebody who don't necessarily have a trainer but in the gym?
Well, I mean, some of those TikTok videos are pretty spot on, some of them, but you have to approach it with a very critical mind. You have to say, all right, well, this not making sense. All right, that makes sense. All right, I can try that, you know, because I'm doing legs and I see that exercise. I like it's going to target my glutes. I want something to target my glutes, you know. So you have to be very mindful of what you're consuming and what you're practicing.
How we know saying everybody will post things sensible?
For sure. So the research also comes into play with this as well. Now, I'm assuming that this person is somewhat, you know, progressing a little more than a beginner. They kind of read a bit, you know. So with something like that, you want to also look at, you know, the basic movements that you do on a day-to-day basis when you're working out. So every day at some point, you're always pushing something. You're always pulling something. You want to ensure that if something drop on the floor, you can squat down and pick it up. You want to make sure that you can bend down and pick something up. So you want to make sure that you can tie your shoelace. And then you'll be over there. Right. So you want to, yeah, man.
Sometimes you surprise yourself, man.
For sure. So you want to, you know, structure your workouts in that way. You want to add something that is related to pushing. So your bench press, your shoulder press. You want to look at something that's pulling. So you look at your rows. You want to, you know, incorporate your squats. There's several variations that you can look into. Hinges, you know, deadlifts. And other hinge type movement. So you can structure your program in that way, and then add a little cardio, you know, get the heart rate, get the cardiovascular health going, and yeah, you should be pretty good along with, you know, really reading and researching. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Okay.
You have anything to add, or you agree, or
he was pretty spot on in terms of especially when, I mean, you know, people utilizing TikTok for to be honest, there are a lot of good videos on TikTok, right? In fact, I've learned a few things from TikTok as well. But then there is also an issue with like fitness influencers on social media, where they tend to find the need to be a bit more extra in terms of what they're doing. So you might see somebody doing pull-ups with a bench strapped to the back and on top of a tire and all of these fantastical things.
Bench pressing 7 people.
Yeah, bench.
They'll be having people chilling on the bars. If that's happening at your gym or wherever, I don't know.
But what I could say is, I'm not saying that you can't add flair to your exercises, right, to make it a bit more entertaining to look at. But the thing is, a lot of the times, the fancier the exercise it is, the less effective it is. Right?
So sometimes old school is best. Just
sometimes
the original move.
You don't need to have 7 girls on a bar. Just put on 245 plates and do it.
And you're good.
And people think that doing a bunch of different things every day, every week is going to give them whatever goal they're trying to get to, And when you look at it, the most successful persons in the gym, or most programs from trainers and stuff like that, is very standard, very monotonous. It can be very boring.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, you keep it simple, and you do these things over and over. Repetition is key when it comes to working out, when it comes to strength training as well,
Okay.
So persons who say, oh, I'm gonna do this last week, I want to switch it up, do this week, do some little jumping jacks, some little burpees. I hate burpees, by the way.
I hate it too.
But you guys still do it?
No, I never.
I give it to people.
He enjoys that. He doesn't do it.
Because I'm not a burpee guy.
I hate burpees.
I don't prescribe it.
Guys, if you don't know what burpees
burpees is effective.
Go
though,
check
right?
it out.
I've heard it's effective too.
I've heard that.
I mean, it works a lot of things, I guess.
It's a decent cardio exercise.
Cardio,
right?
Yeah.
You get what I mean? It's not necessarily
Not the holy grail,
no.
but
right?
okay. It's just because a lot of people run to it, like
Yeah, they make it say the best thing
It
since
sounds
sliced bread. Like it solves everything.
As I said, there's still an appeal to seeing somebody lying on the ground in the woods. I realize, what? Look hard.
So that's the finishing.
But I like that you mentioned two tips mainly that stuck out to me. The need to mix a little cardio in your strength training, because what I've realized, guys, and I'm going to speak mainly to the gentlemen, someone out here is a muscle Babylon. Fine, you work for that. But if you go for a jog, you cannot jog more than 5 seconds because there's no cardio at all. They go in the gym all day, every day, strength training. One of my brothers did that, and then one day he decided to try a spin class with me and his wife, and him say, never again, because he had nothing, like, he don't know what is this, nothing too active, because he's just always doing weights. So I like that you mentioned mixing both. I feel they complement each other.
They do.
Yeah, right. So I love that you mentioned that. But I want to know, you were saying something?
Yeah, I just wanted to cement a point about the cardio and aerobics training. No, it's good, yes, but persons tend to want to do aerobics only and think that is the way to get those
Treat
goals.
me again.
It's not the most effective
by itself.
You want to incorporate resistance training at all costs.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So resistance have to be like some heavy weight?
Not necessarily.
No, but
Not necessarily. There are strategies to use to get that engage the muscles as you want to. You don't have to be. You don't have to kill you.
As Barry said, putting up a resistance. That's force against what you do.
Yes.
Incremental growth.
Put something on it.
Plus, with what he had said earlier when we were speaking, he said where with regards to lifting weights and building muscle and your metabolic rate and stuff like that. The more muscle you have, right, the higher basal metabolic rate. Basal metabolic rate is how much calories you burn when you're not doing anything, right? This kind of accounts for about 70% of the calories you burn on a daily basis, right? So really and truly, you can lose weight and get toned or whatever, as people want to say, and you don't even do any cardio, because you could lift weights intensely, eat the right way, and it still achieve those goals. You get what I mean?
So when they are run up and down, I gotta have to believe something.
Waste of time sometimes.
So you can look at it this way. You see, you can use treat cardio like a day-to-day transaction, right? So you do this, you get this money for the day. When you treat weights as like a long-term investment, you get this, and along the line you get more benefits out of it.
I don't think we really want to talk investments right now still, Investments is not the right word.
So Mr. Vinci Beast and Mr. Activeness.
Yes.
Right? You're saying the people them where basically say they want to lose weight, right? And then just get up every morning.
And I jog every day.
Go jog on Palisados and then go home. They're going to reach the destination in a very long time.
Pretty much.
It's going to take long.
Because as we highlighted earlier, the cardio, you burn calories in that session, yes. And you have to do a certain amount of cardio to burn a certain amount of calories, Whereas, and you don't burn calories at rest when you just do cardio. Whereas with weight training or resistance training, you burn a sizable amount of calories during the workout and as well as after.
Jeez.
I like that.
See the people.
I love that he mentioned rest, because we're going to wrap it up with this question, right? So I usually see persons bragging about, oh, I've been working out 16 days, no, 2 weeks straight, you know, all of that. And I've heard somewhere bits and pieces that rest is important, right? So I want to know, firstly, is it a misconception or not that you can work out all day, every day, basically, that's healthy for you, or is rest important, and if so, why? I think you sort of alluded to it a bit along the way, but I just want to talk specifically on rest.
This is a very important point, because recovery is very important, you know. And I just want to make a point as well. You have trainers that will say, oh no man, rest is when you're dead, when you're in the grave, that's when you rest, you know. But I want to make a slight comparison between rest and recovery, you know. Rest being, you know, I guess you sit and do nothing, completely nothing, and recovery is where you actively you know, put steps in place to ensure that you are you know, recovering or having the after effects that will help you to grow, you know. So for example, recovery could look like a simple easy walk, you know, stretching, light stretching, you know, that is a good recovery. Also recovery during workouts. I've been trained by trainers, you know, in the past, and I've seen trainers around me, you know, working people, and then the rest time or the recovery time is very short and then gone again, you know. Now, depending on the goal, that may not be the best approach for it, because recovery allows you to do the best rep or the best set. You know, if you don't recover properly and you do some bench press and you can't move it, and you
stuck at 3.
Stuck at 3, you don't get what you need out of that workout. You know, as well as recovery. At the end of the day, after a hard workout, recovery time is when the body gets to rest and recuperate, when, you know, you repair any damages, certain toxins are flushed out of the body and all of that. So that's when you adapt, that's when you grow. Okay. You know, sleep as well is important.
Oh. Now, do you have anything to add to it regarding rest?
Yeah. In terms of, like, some people would want to know if you can exercise every day. You get what I mean? And yes and no, right? This is where intensity comes into play, right? So you might have an intense workout on Monday, or probably a moderate one on Tuesday, an easy one on Wednesday, and you do it like that, right? And you have a day where you don't do anything at all, right? In terms of the intensity, that's what will help you to recover while still maintaining fitness. So you can work out every day in theory. You don't have to, right? It's just you just need to organize your program in a way that you get the best bang for your buck. You get enough recovery, so by the time you come back on Monday for that hard session, you're ready to go.
So what would you say is that the minimum amount of days per week that if you want results, whether to gain or lose, that try to aim for that? And roughly like how much per day? Because when I just started the gym, I was there for like 2 hours every day, right? So eventually the trainer gave me a different program. Sometimes the program in less than an hour, but I saw results, you know. So I eventually learned that it's not about the hour or 2 hours in the gym every day. It's really more about the work you put in, and the work you put in may not take an hour. It can be 30 minutes, you know. So like, how much days a week ideally you'd recommend that someone works out, and how much hours or minutes or whatever ideally to get some sort of results?
Well, it kind of hard. It also depends on what's your focus for the workout, right? So you might find some sessions may last a bit shorter than others because, for example, if somebody is doing like strength training, right, where you're trying to push as much weight as possible to develop strength, you're gonna need more rest between your sets. This will then in turn make your workout longer. You might find yourself in the gym even an hour and a half. Whereas if you're trying to do something, for example, like high intensity training, HIIT training, 40 minutes if so long, and you're good, right? So it depends on the workout itself. As far as how many days a week, I usually say minimum 3, maximum maybe 5, sometimes 6, depending on how you vary the intensity.
Yeah, the days and stuff.
Yeah, you just work within the means, but also you have to take into account when you can do it and how consistently you can do training at whatever time, because the best time for you to train is the time where you can do it most often.
Okay.
Right? So
I like that. All right, so before we wrap up, I just want each of you to tell us about your fitness program, as in the name of your company, and how to find you on Instagram. If you want to know more, how can they get in contact with you?
So my brand is Active Nest, and you can find me on Instagram at Active Nest, ACTIVENEST. One word. Search.
Yes, so DM him to find out.
Yes,
one on you to find out. Right? And what about you, Najee?
Well, I'd said earlier that currently I work at gym training, Joram training that's on Kensington Crescent. So if you want to work with me or even any of the other trainers there, you can pass by. Also, you can contact me personally as well. You could DM me on IG at Vinci Beast. In terms of the program, you might lie down on the ground in the sun.
No, sir.
Listen, lay down on the ground. You need a shirt with that. You need a shirt with that. You need a shirt.
So that way them looking up from the ground reading the shirt.
Like, trust me, he promises there is results, but it just may result in you laying down in sweat. But gentlemen, I have to say thank you guys for passing through. Thank you guys for all the advice that you've given us. Coming on the phone and like read and research for yourself. So we had the professionals come in to explain it, but guys, I encourage you to read for yourself as well, because we're humans, we can make mistakes, we can misunderstand something. So, read for yourself to double check what I must say, and probably even build upon that information that they gave you, so you can now fine tune what works for you. But it's possible you can work out in the home, you can work out in the gym, you can get results, but consistency. Alright guys, so thank you for tuning in. That is it for Talk the Ting with Kim, and that is it for Funtastic Fridays. See you again next week Friday. We have more to come. We have the winner date competition happening for Valentine's, so guys, tune in for that, and next week we'll have a different discussion. All right, have a good one, stay safe.
All right, fantastic, massive, keep it locked. News Talk 93 FM. Have a safe weekend. Nobody,